When was the last time you asked your doctor how they were doing?
And that's not something that we normally ask our colleagues, right? Because we're all supposed to be okay all the time.
We need to know just how many doctors are dying of suicide. Colorado considers following California's lead again, this time in letting our college athletes finally get paid better than Ralphie. RTD can't find people to run its light rail trains. You're getting stranded because of Colorado's strong economy. But perhaps DU is overestimating the economy if they think that people can pay $61 quintillion for hockey tickets. That's rich, and it's next. Angry bus drivers may hit Colorado's largest school district right where it hurts tomorrow. They're threatening not to show up for work in Denver, and right on the day when student attendance counts towards state school funding. The warnings of potential bus issues tomorrow just went out to DPS parents within the last hour. If those bus drivers refuse to drive students tomorrow, that could strand more than 1 in 5 kids in the district, 20,000 kids. The bus drivers are angry over an incident on September 18th when a parent physically fought with a bus driver on a stopped school bus in Park Hill. The parents had gathered around all upset because the driver was not allowing students off of that stopped bus so that they could reunite with their families. Today, prosecutors announced that there would not be charges filed against the parent or the driver for the incident. Here's why tomorrow is important. Statewide, it's count day. That's the day when attendance is carefully taken at schools and the number of kids' backsides in seats relates directly to school funding. I just talked with somebody from DPS who said they've already been in touch with folks at State Ed, and they will figure out an alternate way to count students if there are a ton of absences tomorrow because bus drivers don't show up for work. We go to the doctor and they ask us how we feel each time. And maybe that's backwards. Maybe we as a community at least should be asking doctors how they're feeling. Because the fact is, doctors are more likely to die by suicide than the general population. Our Anusha Roy looks at why some docs are afraid to ask for help.
Dr. Camila Sasson may be a familiar face. She used to work as our medical expert at 9 News and came back today to talk about something she hasn't on TV before.
Every single person I've talked to knows someone who's taken their life.
She's talking about her fellow doctors.
What the appearance is on the outside is not what's really going on the inside.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention said doctors are dying by suicide at a higher rate than the general population. There are a lot of factors: burnout, stigma, and PTSD, which Dr. Sasson knows about after nearly 24 patients came into her ER.
From the Aurora shooting, I think a lot of us had PTSD from that specific night of working.
Then there's the worry about getting caught in a system meant to protect patients.
That you feel like there's a stigma around mental health and that I can't access care for myself because the medical board will find out and then I won't be able to practice.
This is something that you have personally struggled with.
I was a suicidal physician back in 2004. I was forced to work in 7-minute increments trying to take care of complex patients.
Dr. Pamela Weibel is known in the medical community for being an authority on this issue.
And it needs to be addressed as an occupational hazard.
I think there's good and bad to social media, but I think what it has done is really open the door to those conversations. And so a lot of those mysterious deaths that you didn't know anything about, right? Now I think we're starting to learn that many of those physicians took their own lives.
While healthcare systems are talking about their doctors' mental well-being more, the Colorado Medical Society said it's important to figure out how to change their work environment too. What helped you be able to kind of come back from where you were in 2004?
I asked for help. There are doctors who have admitted to me that one thank you card from a patient actually saved their life.
So the closest we could get to Colorado numbers was looking at a broader category that covered several jobs, including physicians, nurses, vets, dentists. And since 2015, anywhere from 27 to 41 people died by suicide each year. And you should remember how many patients each of these doctors were helping. And Kyle, that's bringing up a really crucial point that this isn't being well recorded, which makes preventing it that much harder.
Like so many things we talk about here, there's the fight to get accurate numbers so that we can make good decisions.
Yeah, and the American Medical Association is now weighing in. They passed some policy, realizing that there just isn't the data there that needs to be. And in order to prevent something, you need to thoroughly understand it. So there's a long way to go on that.
All right. Anusha, thank you. Please do remember there is help available for you or someone you know. Colorado Crisis Services is there 24/7. You can always call 1-844-493-8255, or you can text the word TALK to 38255. The long-running urination altercation between immigration agents and local police continues, now with Denver's police chief saying it one more time for the people in the back. He's responding to the head of ICE in Colorado, recently saying that sanctuary cities put ICE agents at greater risk.
We used to be able to go to the jails, we'd be able to identify criminal aliens that were in the jail, and then place a detainer on them and put them into the removal process. Now we are forced to go out into the community to make these arrests.
And that's undeniable. I mean, ICE agents used to be able to go into courthouses and pick people up in Denver and Aurora. Those cities said that they wanted to make sure that people who are here illegally but might be testifying as a witness or as a crime victim felt safe coming to court. So Denver and Aurora don't want ICE working in the courthouses. Today, Denver Police Chief Paul Pazin seemed to be directly speaking to ICE during a domestic violence awareness event.
We want to say it loud. We want to make sure that everybody can hear us, that we absolutely stand with and support victims and witnesses of domestic violence, regardless of status. And we do not today, and we do not ever work with ICE.
It's worth noting again a few basic facts in this heated sanctuary city debate, things that we've talked about here but not everybody knows. Federal law specifically outlines what cities must do in order to cooperate with ICE under the law. Denver and Aurora, they do the bare minimum to comply with federal law, but no more. The Trump administration has revived a program that basically deputizes local law enforcement to work closely with ICE, so kind of like the far opposite end of the spectrum. And at this point, even Colorado's most conservative sheriffs haven't signed up for that partnership. What do you say we dust off an old graphic and ask the familiar question, is the A-line working today? Why, yes. Yes, it is. It's RTD's light rail lines that you've noticed are not running as they should. A slew of you sent us email alerts from RTD where that agency admits it's simply run out of people to run its trains. So riders are out of luck. You filled our inbox with the RTD notices that light rail trips were canceled due to what they call operator shortages. Operator shortages on the C line, the D, the E, the F, the H, and the R lines. An RTD spokesperson told us she would have to check into the specifics of today's cancellations and get back to us. So we're still waiting on that like a canceled train. RTD's driver and operator shortage, though, is nothing new. We've talked about it here. The strong economy means that drivers have options for their career. RTD for years has had trouble hiring and retaining people. So this is not just an RTD problem. A lot of companies have the struggle just without the bus. Yesterday, I promised a viewer named Phil we would get him an answer to this next question. So we were talking about how DIA maintains its Teflon-coated fiberglass tent roof. And Phil recalled that when the airport was built, people said that roof had a 30-year lifespan. Phil asked, is this roof about to need a massive replacement? That is a good catch, Phil. So we took that question to the folks who run the airport. And a DIA spokeswoman says, yes, the original expected lifespan of the tent roof was about 25 years. So, I mean, it's due. But DIA says they think they've been able to extend that life, and they do not expect to replace the airport's iconic roof in their next 5-year financial plan. Colorado will consider being like California and letting college athletes get paid. Is this the dreaded Caloradicalization the Republicans warned us about? I don't know. We'll ask the Republican behind the idea. And we'll catch back up with the guy who was living in his car and dreaming of a better life.
I'd say the biggest hurdle was getting out of my Jeep.
Let's go for a drink at his new brewery. Next.
Hi there, welcome back. How about this? A live picture up in the high country where temperatures today were in the 70s, beautiful blue skies, a completely different weather world than what we've been looking at in Denver here with low clouds, fog, drizzle, and light showers. The rain is welcome. The temperature's amazing, right? After almost 90 on Sunday, 53 today. Whole lot of moisture off to the east of us. Matter of fact, a line of showers and thunderstorm producing hail, tornadoes, and heavy flooding rain extending all the way into the Midwest. On the backside of that departing storm system, another piece of energy will keep keep the cloud deck in play. With northeast winds, fog will reduce visibility tonight. There's the chance of a few light showers, and we'll have that through mid-morning tomorrow. Skies will clear, leading us to a mostly sunny day tomorrow and a milder day to boot. Prepare for a little rain tonight, low 43, not a bad thing. Tomorrow, fog burns off, sunshine and 68. Warming temp for the rest of the week, a little cooler but dry for the upcoming weekend. Comfortable temperatures in the mid-70s for Monday and Tuesday. And if you're waiting dinner on someone tonight, traffic looks to be moving along okay, but tough to see out there with all that fog.
Thank you, Kathy. Colorado has a habit, for better or for worse, of following California's lead on issues. California just became the first state to allow college athletes to make some bank from endorsement deals. Now there are legislators in Colorado looking at the same thing. Here's Katie Eastman.
Number 15 was only a sophomore at CU Boulder in 2003, but his college football career ended after 2 seasons. Why?
I felt like I was an owned piece of property.
Because Jeremy Bloom was also an Olympic skier, and the NCAA wouldn't let him make money off of endorsements.
It's a basic civil right of every human being to be able to capitalize on our ability.
Bloom ended up all right. He went to 2 Olympics, won 3 world championships, and was drafted in the NFL by the Philadelphia Eagles. But he has always been a champion of allowing college athletes to make money off of their likeness.
It's a professional league already. What's unique about this professional league is the people who bring the attention to it and drive the market value don't get paid.
That changes in California in 2023, and Republican State Senator Owen Hill hopes it changes in Colorado, too.
As painful it is for me to admit, California got it right.
He plans to introduce legislation next year with Democratic co-sponsor Jeff Bridges that allows any student athlete to make money off of sponsorships.
This law doesn't compel anyone to do anything. It just says if a player wants to go out and work an endorsement to get sponsored, that they can do that. And if the NCAA tries to prevent them, then that violates Colorado's law. Their enforcement of that violates Colorado's law.
And the NCAA says a patchwork of different laws from different states will get rid of a fair and level playing field. And Kyle, before California even passed this law, the NCAA said we could ban your universities from playing the championships.
Well, that probably doesn't apply to Colorado's universities. But is there a thought on the legislators' part that the NCAA might stop in and stop the state from doing this?
Owen Hill just said, bless their hearts. He said, they're acting like a cartel, and this is why we need to pass those laws.
Bless their hearts. Well, he said the F word in an interview. Wow. All right, Katie Eastman, thank you very much. So we all know that college athletics is big money for everybody but the college athletes. But dang, DU hockey, pretty bold, looking to cash in for a few extra quintillion dollars. A guy named Jason posted this screenshot to Reddit. It's a recent email I received from the DU Athletics ticket office. It's offering hockey season ticket holders gold club amenities if they only pay the low price of $61.3 quintillion. Clearly somebody in the athletic department made a typo. Jason, who's been a season ticket holder since 2015, says he responded back for an actual price on the Gold Club amenities. It's $1,800. That's what they meant, $1,800. Jason says he'll skip it unless they plan to add an open bar. Jason gave us permission to use the photo, provided that we make a small donation to his recently adopted quest for $61 quintillion. Being journalists, it's not something we can do. For 6 months of his life, he was living out of a Jeep. Now he's an entrepreneur.
I guess from my story, I just want the public to, never give up.
Cheers to perseverance. And cheers to beer. Cheers to both those things. Next. It's impossible to keep up with the thousands of people we've met over the years on Next. We couldn't forget Sean Peters. When he first met him 2 years ago, he just graduated from MSU Denver with a business degree. Sean told us how he bounced back from being homeless, living in his Jeep. He told us that his dream was to open a brewery.
I would say what's really made me successful is just that I know what it's like to be at the bottom, and you don't want to do that again. It doesn't really matter how lost you are or how crazy things are. If you want something, you can do it. Just gotta move 1 foot forward at a time, and eventually the picture's gonna come together.
Sean still has that Jeep he used to sleep in. Now he drives it to work at his brewery, Peak View Brewing Company in Greenwood Village.
Hope you like the smell of beer. I'm here so early today because we're getting ready for Great American Beer Fest, so got to get a brew down before I have to keg a bunch of beer. So we're making a cream ale today. Pretty light, fluffy, nice toasty biscuit notes. My favorite thing about making beer is probably that sweet, sweet smell of delicious nectar in the morning. We're smelling it right now. Isn't that amazing? Is that nectar? Yeah, it's the nectar of the gods. It's unreal to come this far. It took us 4 years to get this thing operational. I'd say the biggest hurdle was getting out of my Jeep, kind of changing my mindset to where I feel like I can't do anything, like I'm not good for anything, to changing my mindset to the point where like, no, I can do something and I can make a difference, and I actually am, a smart guy. That's our first time at Great American Beer Fest, and it's always been a goal of ours to do it. I mean, we go every year and dream to one day have a booth there, and this year we're going to be there. I guess from my story, I just want the public to, never give up. If you have a dream, you can do it. Someday you're going to be living your dream.
How about that? Hope to see Sean at the Great American Beer Festival. Hey, I hope that I see you there as well. I'll be easy to spot. I will be the clean-cut, middle-aged white guy with the boring haircut holding a small beer. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a town looking to its past in order to create something new. And your feedback tonight is looking out for me, and I appreciate that. Next. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a city that's going old school, build a new tradition. Salida held its first ever Heritage Days over the weekend. Salida is 139 years young soon, but they're looking to the future. They built this new 3-day celebration with the stuff that you'd expect, the music and the homemade food, people dressing up like old-timey pioneers. It's not my thing, maybe it's their thing. But my favorite part, though, they built this big community picnic, and we could all use more reasons to come together for any reason. So good on Salida for creating another reason for people to literally break bread with each other. What's the most Colorado thing you've seen today? Share it with us with the hashtag HeyNext or email next@9news.com. Shirley writes in to say several stories today were complex enough that they could have been confusing, but you have a talent for clarity without simplification. Thank you, Shirley. I really appreciate that. That's something that the team aims for every day. Barbara Farley writes in to note, Anusha Roy is great, just saying. You noticed that too, Barbara. Ayana, Chuck, Rick, Jill, and some others noticed that my collar was sticking up at the beginning of the show. Thank you for looking out for me. And Christina writes in with a note tonight saying, thank you for talking about suicide on this show in a real way. It's so hard to live as a survivor, but we must make getting help the norm. I really like how you put that, Christina. We must make getting help the norm. See you next time.